Hello, friends, and welcome to our kitchen. I have a little helper today, and we are all about all the pumpkin. I am going to be working on 3 different pumpkin recipes today. So if you see me in the same outfit, it's because today is a Pumpkin Palooza marathon, and I'm going to bring you 3 different videos at least that I'm going to be working up here in the upstairs kitchen because I'm going to have a pumpkin party tonight because it sounds fun. If you're new here, my name is Angela and I am the Inquisitive Farm Wife, and I am so glad that you found my channel. If you enjoyed today's video, I suggest that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified of any future videos by pushing that notification bell. I have lots of playlists on all sorts of different things. I do freeze drying, I do cooking and baking and canning and fermenting and just so many things. Life here on the farm. I hope that you will stick around for a while, and those of you who've been here, welcome back. I'm so excited you're here. It's always great to have you in the kitchen with me and my grandson. Today's video is going to be a twofer. We are actually kind of putting it under the category of a couple of different collaborations. One, the one I'm hosting, Pumpkin Palooza, that open collaboration that's been going on all month. Well, it is all things pumpkin. And the first thing that I wanted to try is pumpkin chili, but I decided to wait and put it at the end of the month because I'm going to take a recipe I found online from the Pioneer Woman, and I'm going to alter it and I'm going to put it in the crock pot because I have lots of other things that I want to get done today, and I think that would be the best use of my time. So I am entering this also in Crocktober. Do you guys know what Crocktober is? It is a collaboration hosted by Jenny over at Jenny's Scratch Made Kitchen. She has been doing this for many years, and she has selected some great, amazing content creators to bring you all crock pot recipes. It could be a soup, it could be a casserole, it could be a dessert, it could be a breakfast, it could be anything made with your crock pot. So today we're going to be making the crock pot pumpkin chili. But before we get started on that, I don't want to forget some of the funnest details of all. As part of Jenny's Crocktober collaboration, she is going to give away a crock pot to one of you. That's right. And how do you win this? You watch my video, and everybody else is in the collaboration. You make honest, heartfelt comments, so that the algorithm doesn't kick you out. And then on November 1st, she's going to be having a giveaway on her channel. I'll have all of the information here, and you can check out her channel, find out all the details on how you can win. But honestly, we win just by getting all these amazing recipes. And I tell you, I've been watching along this month, and there are some really great recipes out there. I've gathered all my ingredients. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I think I want to do is go ahead and get my meat started. So I'm going to use this little tabletop stovetop. I love this thing. I use it a lot in my videos. Don't want it too terrible high, but she suggests that you take some olive oil and put in the pan first. But this is our homemade Italian sausage that we made together. If I don't already have the video out for the Italian sausage, it will be coming soon, I promise. So all I want to do for now is to take this and put it in the pan. Now remember, this is half pork, half beef, and it was an 80 lean, so it's a fairly high fat meat, and so I don't think we're gonna need all that extra fat. Got one of these fancy food choppers, and I'm just gonna kind of break it up into some bigger chunks just to get it started. And as it cooks, we'll go ahead and work with it some more. So now that we've got this started, off to the side it will go, and let's start working on our veggies. You're going to want a whole onion. Don't forget to save these scraps. We talk about it I think almost every time. This will make free broth for you. Yeah, all you have to do is save your scraps and you will have the most amazing broth or stock. All from scraps. So off to the side that goes. And I'm just going to put this in, I don't know, about 8 pieces. And then, because I am the kitchen gadget lady, I have one of these nice choppers. And I'm going to put half of my onion in here. And I'm going to chop it up. Oh, I didn't line it up quite right, did I? Okay, I decided I wanted a nice fine dice, at least for this first half. So I'll plop that out. Then I'm going to put the next half in. And we'll do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to use this as a bowl. And I'm just going to put that onion right back in there. And save it till we're ready for it. And the next ingredient we need is actually, she wanted 1 red bell pepper. Well, I don't have any red bell peppers, so we're just going to go with the green today. And that's okay. I'm perfectly content with that. A bell pepper is a bell pepper to me. And yeah, you can save this bit too. Go along and make sure I'm cutting out any of the membrane. I don't want any of that part. So we'll kind of trim that out, any seeds I might have missed. All this can go over here in our scrap pile. You know, these aren't really things that our chickens enjoy anyway. And if we can turn this in to another product for our kitchen, how smart are we? Now, I'm wanting to have a larger dice than maybe what I would get in my, I mean, it's still going to be a small dice, but, you know, this is going to be a little more uniform if I go ahead and just cut it up by hand, and it won't take very long at all. I'll just add it to my onions. So remember, this is going in the crock pot, so this is all going to be together anyway. Can you hear the meat? I wish you could smell it. It smells amazing. I'm going to go ahead and kind of stir this around and chop it up a little bit. I don't want it to be too big of pieces. I'm planning on this serving like 4 to 6 people. And back to chopping we go. It almost smells like a pizzeria in here with that Italian sausage. So we're done with this. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the sink. Go ahead and add these to our scrap bag, and back to the freezer this will go to use for another day. Uh-oh. Looks like I bent my handle. Oh dear, this is the second one I've done this to. Well, it'll still work. Now our meat doesn't have to be 100% cooked. We just definitely want to get a little brown to it because that just gives it a little more flavor. But remember, we're going to put this in the crock pot, so it will finish cooking. So if you see a little pink, you'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and move that to the outside edges here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add our onions and our peppers right here into the middle of this pan. I want to just kind of give them a little extra flavor also. This is just the way I like to do it, especially onions. But I think peppers do a really good job. And we've got that fat. Oh, I don't want those in there. Let's pull those out. We've got that fat from that meat in there. So that's why we didn't have to add that oil. We're just going to use that fat. And we're going to cook this up just a little bit. Got to have some garlic. So the recipe calls for, I believe, 3 cloves. And that's exactly what fell out, so that's what we will use. And I will peel any loose bits off of here. But honestly, I have found, and maybe it's just me, that when I use this garlic press, it does a really good job of separating that skin off for me, so I don't have to mess with it. That's kind of how I've always done it. There is a little tool that you can actually use that will pop this out. I don't know what I did with mine, so today I have to use my fingers, and yeah, they're going to get a little garlic smelling. It'll be fine. So there's our three cloves of garlic. You know what? This needs to go in the scrap bag too, along with those big pieces of onion I couldn't get chopped. All right, I'm just wanting to kind of bring out the flavor. The onions don't really have to cook. We do not want to overcook that garlic. It could get bitter. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug that, turn that heat off, and let the residual from the heat of the pan continue to kind of cook it just a little bit while I get things ready here in the crock pot. Crockpot. Okay, so I tell you what, won't be pumpkin chili without pumpkin. So let's start with that. Actually, let's see here. I don't want to lose track of where I am. Yeah, I'm going to go backwards now on the recipe. Yes. So we'll start with our chicken broth. Here we go. Now they call for 2.5 cups. This is 2 cups of my homemade chicken broth, okay? I use that with the carcass of a chicken plus all those bits that we had saved earlier. Okay, so we're going to put this right into our crock pot. I know it's only 2 cups, but I'm going to go rogue, and I'll explain why in just a minute. Next, I need a can of pumpkin. You want to make sure that you're using 100% pumpkin and not pumpkin pie filling. Okay, well, this thing is not playing nice today, so let's get out the old-fashioned one and see if we can't just do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, here we go. Yes. All right. So it calls for 1 15-ounce can of pumpkin, and that's exactly what I've got. So I'm going to add this in, all of it. Now, if you want to use your own pumpkin, it's going to be close to like 2 cups. But make sure it's good and thick, because sometimes our homemade pumpkin, the consistency is irregular because of the different kinds of pumpkins that we use. And a lot of times they don't even use 100% pumpkin in these. Many times they use like butternut squash. So that's a little tidbit for you. And I'm going to go ahead and just mix these together just to kind of make a sauce, because we're going to be adding other things to it. And I think that if we just kind of take a second to do it slowly, that would be good. Actually, I'm going to flip it back over and we're going to go to the seasonings next. So we will need 2 teaspoons of cumin. Oh, I just love cumin. Cumin and pumpkin go so well together. Okay. So here we go. Well, we're just going to go ahead and use the whole thing just because we're in the mood of getting rid of stuff, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We used probably maybe 2.5 teaspoons of the cumin. And then I also want to add 1.5 tablespoons. So 1 tablespoon. And then 1/2 would be 1.5 teaspoons. Mark, if you didn't know. So there we go. Lots of chili flavor in there. We're going to add 1 teaspoon or so of the kosher salt. Well, this is pink Himalayan. So that's about a teaspoon. We're going to have about 3/4 teaspoon of pepper. There we go. And then 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And I get my cinnamon in bulk. There's different kinds of cinnamon out there. That is so all very new to me. And that was just crazy to learn that there's different kinds for different purposes. So I may have put in more like a full teaspoon, but I like cinnamon in my chili anyway. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and mix this, because the thing I really don't want is clumps of seasoning. So I wanted to have something liquid to put the seasoning with, and I think that this pumpkin chicken broth mixture is going to be great to do that, because if I need to, I can even get a whisk out and whisk this, which we might, just to make sure. I don't want any clumps, guys. Nobody wants a clump of seasoning. Nobody wants a big bite of spice. Yuck. Oh, I think I did it. I think I got it really well. Okay, now we're going to move on to our canned items. Okay, so next would be 2 of the 15-ounce cans of roasted tomatoes. I don't have roasted tomatoes. I have some tomatoes, and for whatever reason, they decided to kind of siphon on me, so I need to use those up first. So we're just going to use some regular tomatoes with juice. And honestly, it would give it a little bit different of a flavor, but it's going to be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah. And then the next thing we want to do is they want you to drain and rinse both black beans and kidney beans. I have red beans today and black beans, so that's what I'm going to be using. And just because that thing is so loud, and this is already here, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to use the old-fashioned opener. But I am not going to rinse these beans. I am going to keep that liquid that, if it was garbanzo beans, it would be aquafaba. But I'm going to keep that liquid that's in with those beans, because we were 1/2 cup short on the chicken broth, and I didn't want to add water when this has so much flavor. And it kind of thickens it a little bit too. I kind of like that. That's how I cook, and that's what my family's used to, so I do not mind. Now, I do have videos on how you can your own beans at home, and I hope that you will check those out. I'll try to remember the link. And I was going to use those, but these I think were older. I had gotten them on a sale sometime, ridiculous price. And so I decided, okay, we need to use this up, you know, first in, first out type of thing. So that's what we're doing today. And see all that liquid? That's going to make up for that broth that I didn't have. So I'm not worried about it one tiny bit. I do want to get all the goodness out of these. And then that is all the ingredients we need. We don't need all that extra added fat. So I'm going to go ahead and let's just strain that off real quick. But I must tell you, I originally had thought about just using hamburger because I didn't have any Italian sausage on hand. And I'm so glad I taught myself how to make my own Italian sausage. I mean, how complicated could it be? I've made breakfast sausage before, and it wasn't any different. So we're going to kind of move this around and try to get some of that fat out. And into the crock pot that goes. And look, ew, I didn't want that in there. So we may have lost a little bit of the seasoning, but it's worth it to me. So now looky here, guys. We have a full crock pot of chili going now. Because this is partially cooked and not fully cooked, I would suggest going ahead and cooking it on high for 4 to 6 hours or low for 6 to 8 hours. So I'm going to plug this baby in. Turn on the lid. Wait a minute. This crock pot says low, I can choose 4, or high, I can choose 4 or 6 hours, low, 8 or 10 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and do high at 4 hours, and then it'll just turn it on warm, and it'll go ahead and just keep it warm until supper time. So that's it, friends. We have made our pumpkin crock pot chili. I'm so excited about it. I can't wait to taste it. We have been cooking for, I don't know, an hour maybe. Baby had to take a bottle break. So I thought, well, we'll come back, give this a stir. Oh, it's starting to look really nice. And the red onion or the red peppers would have been fine, but I kind of like the different color with the green bell pepper. So, yeah. And I think this is going to be a nice chili soup. I want to say that the smell in the crock pot is amazing with the cinnamon and the sausage. I am just so excited for supper tonight. But before we lose track of the day, because that could happen and it has happened before, and sometimes you get a picture and sometimes you don't, I thought I would come in and talk a little bit about different topping options that you could do. Now, my husband says I do not know how to cook spicy. So with that being said, I will probably have some red jalapenos. I saw some on the plants outside. So I'll slice up some red jalapenos or whatever hot pepper I decide to put out for him. I'll have sour cream for me to tone everything down. I'll have avocado for those delicious good fats and just a little extra unique and different flavor. Some other things that you could add on there might be some parsley or some other herbs, and of course cheese. I wanted to look at her suggestions, and she said you could use roasted pumpkin seeds, sour cream, shredded sharp cheddar cheese, and avocado for garnish if desired. Okay, folks, chili's ready. I'm going to dish this up. I went searching around and I thought for sure I had some pepitas, but I must have eaten them all. Oops. But I will say that we're going to serve this sweet kale chopped salad kit. So here's a bonus little pumpkin for you. It has the pepitas in it. So if I wanted to, I could probably separate some out and put it on top there. But since we're having this salad, I'm not going to worry about it. So we will. Here, come on in. Let's go ahead and slice up some other toppers though. Avocado. I love avocado. How about you? Are you an avocado fan? Oh, I just love them. So I'm going to go ahead and slice them. Do you do this? I slice it in the shell so that it comes out so pretty. If you just kind of squeeze the top, then these slices will usually come right out, but it looks like I squished those. Oops, let's try again. Let's try again. Maybe this time I will actually try to just kind of peel that off. Well, I didn't do as lovely as a job as I'd hoped, but that's okay. And remember we talked about that red pepper? Well, let's go ahead. I've got this fresh from the garden for the rest of my family, but not for me. I do not want any sort of spicy pepper at all. This is a red jalapeno. So it has been out in the sun and it's got the heat. And they can enjoy that all they want. So I've got more out there, but I'm just going to start with this much. And I've got plenty more avocado and a big old tub of sour cream. Yes, please. Oh, everything just smells so good. I have made several things which you probably have seen all of the recipes by now. But I'm going to go ahead and put our pumpkin soup, our pumpkin chili soup in a bowl. And I'm going to take and garnish it with some of these avocado slices. And a dollop of sour cream. And then this one will be for the hubby. So I'll go ahead and put a pepper in there. Doesn't that look beautiful? All right, I'm going to grab just a little bit of the chili without all the extras, just to give it a taste test for y'all. You taste a little bit of heat, hardly any at all. As my husband would say, I don't know how to cook hot. I hope you guys give this a try. It's really good. On the side, we serve this with a pumpkin cornbread, and then I couldn't believe it once I started eating. I had forgotten cheese. I don't get back here. I do want to say thank you for being here. Don't forget to go watch all the videos on both of the collaborations because you're going to want all these pumpkin and crock pot recipes. Bye for now. We'll see you next time.